What's going on, guys? Talking head video today. Yeah, I'm going to IKEA to finish off my my table. I need another table because my spray booth is sitting on some janky some really janky piece of just bits of wood and plastic containers. It's always, yeah, so I've got to grab just a small table because I'm reorganizing my studio, and I guess that's why it's got to look pro. So if you're watching this, this is kind of me just practicing talking to the camera because I'm launching my YouTube channel. Not this one. If you're watching this, and this is just unedited, uncut, just me talking and practicing so that I don't sort of analyze how I sort of speak in front of the camera. The name of the channel is called RHYPLA Builds, and in this channel I'm talking about it's all about modeling, not as in models as in catwalk models. I'm talking about building plastic models and hobby related stuff. So yeah, it's 2020 and COVID happened, and sometimes when you're kind of stuck at home, you reevaluate a lot of things and you have to think about either just numerous things. And I guess, I'm still on leave. I've been off since mid-March actually, because I've got 26 weeks annual leave accrued. Crazy, right? 26 weeks. I mean, who has 26 weeks annual leave built up? Well, apparently me. So I haven't worked since mid-March, and I'm actually kind of enjoying it. And me having sort of time to have a think about a lot of things. Could it be career, relationships, family, finance? When you're kind of stuck at home, you kind of have a think about it. And plus the world is friggin' melting. And you kind of just have a think about a lot of those. And I decided that I want to go and do a YouTube channel, which I'll be launching shortly. So over the past few weeks, I've been setting up the office or the studio. Studio's got to sound pro, right? And it's been an interesting process because I've really had to sort of study up on things such as video production, because obviously I want to do this properly. So what I thought was, let me go and start up YouTube, and it's something I've always wanted to do, actually quite many years ago. But I just always said, I'm not ready. I just don't think that I just don't think it's the right time. But since COVID happened, and you kind of, I had to sort of think about it. You know what? This might actually, it's something that I've always wanted to do, and I'm certainly very knowledgeable. I know my stuff. I've got, sort of 20 something years. I don't know. I've lost track. A long amount of time experience in working in the hobby industry, and me. So I've got a lot to offer. To sort of. I've got a lot to offer the viewership, subscribers, since I do know a fair bit about this stuff. But it's been absolutely interesting. Sort of learning the ins and outs of video production, like to get something. My personality is such that I'm a bit of a how should you say? I'm a bit of a perfectionist. And that's kind of the thing. So if I'm gonna do something, I've always had a saying is that it's either do it or do it, don't do it. Let me start again. I've always had a saying where it's either you do it properly or you don't do it at all, right? And that's how I've always sort of done stuff. Would it be in either in my career, me lifting at the gym, me sort of just doing everything. So I always got to give it a red hot go, right? And I think now is really the time, and I really want to have something as well as building my brand. And my brand is RHYPLA, and that other channel that I'm currently building is called RHYPLA Builds, as I said earlier. So I had this idea that, okay, well, let me go and vlog the whole journey. So you guys can all laugh at me when I either kill it or absolutely fail. But look, the way I looked at it is that you've always got to bet on yourself, right? And I've got the self-belief in myself that I can really do anything. So it's all just a matter of execution, time, opportunities. So I'm looking at this YouTube thing as a hobby that can possibly turn into other opportunities at a later date. But I'm just gonna go in there and just try and provide value for people that will find it helpful. And I mean, I've built successful. I think my brand's it's quite strong. Apparently, a lot of people. I mean, I'm quite well known here in Australia in the gunpla scene, and also in the modeling side, and also in the professional side, because I'm working for a company called Hobbyco Imports, and I know all the shops I supply to in all around Australia. So I've got that insight of being the hobbyist and also being on the business side of things. So I can sort of shed some light on how I go on and approach this new venture of the RHYPLA Builds channel. So I'm pretty excited, but man, there's a big learning curve about doing everything, right? So for me, actually getting in front of the camera is easy. I can talk shit all day long. I can talk, and I've always got a story to tell. I've always got something to sort of share with everyone. So I think that's what I want to try, and that's my strategy in jumping into this YouTube channel, is just not to be just the, put an entertainment spin out of it and add my touch of humor, and also me just sharing what I know, and I'm also I've got skills to share, but it's just something to really sort of work on, right? And my life has always been have little goals and have little, and I'm gonna admit, I'm gonna be honest, I've been a little bit stagnant over the last few years because we get comfortable and you sort of don't get out of your comfort zone. And I think me sort of jumping into this YouTube thing as something a bit of personal development and learn a new skill set. Gotta admit that doing the editing and doing sort of the lighting and sound. You know, I want to have decent, good production value, and I've got such mad respect for people who really got their shit together on YouTube. Good friend of mine that comes to mind is Rhyan. He's crushing it on YouTube, and he's such a hard worker, and I knew that what he was doing was hard because you're providing good quality content, and Rhyan is a professional in Japan, and he's like a rock star there, right? So you know it is amazing for an Aussie guy to have achieved his level of success in the cutthroat hobby, professional hobby in Japan is simply amazing. So he's certainly been, you know, he's certainly earned his stripes, and he works hard, and any monkey can jump in front of the camera and put stuff on YouTube, but to put quality content and share his experience is like, wow. And sometimes I guess he's also a very polarizing character that, you know, sometimes he cops a bit of flack from certain people. I mean, that's how it is, right? When you're a professional, you'll start getting haters. I mean, I've got haters too, right? And I'm sure, but that's just how it is, because, you know, for you to be a leader in the community, you got to challenge everybody's thinking, and that's got to be, and that polarizes people. And for me, is that I've always said it, and somehow it's rubbed people the wrong way, is that I can only be me, but one thing's for sure, right? I will always give if somebody asks. I will always help when somebody asks. Sometimes I gotta admit that because of what I do in my position, that gets taken advantage of. But for me, I don't expect anything in return. So, and sometimes I'm misunderstood, or sometimes they feel like I'm too out there or larger than life. But that's my character, right? And I guess at sort of at my age, I probably shouldn't be behaving the way I behave sometimes. But hey, that's just me. I mean, I love everything about life itself, and my idea is always glass half full, not half empty. And you know, sometimes things in life change, and you've really got to sort of evaluate and make course adjustments, right? So course adjustments in how you sort of look at your relationships, career, everything else that goes along with life. And I think having that sort of half glass half full approach is always the thing. So yeah, this YouTube, you know, who knows, right? And I guess if I'm looking at this to be sort of, okay, I want to go and monetize this and try to make money out of it from the get-go, that's not going to work. The way I'm going to do this, I'm going to approach this the same way as that I've approached everything I've done in life, is just give something to people, and it'll come back, right? It'll come back. You won't always get it all back. Sometimes you can be taken advantage of. Sometimes people will backstab you. Sometimes they'll throw you under the bus. But hey, that's okay. That is just life. But for me, is that as long as I know, right? As long as I know that I've done right for everybody, and then I can sleep really well at night. And but yeah, I'm excited, and like learning this new YouTube thing is freaking amazing. But my weak side of me producing this is definitely the editing, and I don't like it because it's tedious. There's a lot to learn, but I am kind of getting the hang of it. But my how should you say, my personality of being a bit how should you say, being a perfectionist is can get in the way, because I really want things to be good, right? I mean, it's all about the fine details. It's all about the fine details. It's all about presenting the best that you can present. I mean, that's how I do it as well. I mean, I always want to make sure. Why do you think I'm at the gym? Hell yeah, it's for vanity reasons. That's bullshit if you're saying I'm only here for the health. Yeah, of course. Yeah, okay, that's the upside. I want to look good, man. You know what I mean? I want to really like be in shape. Mind you, I'm carrying a few pounds at the moment because COVID happened and the gyms have been closed and I can't really train at home. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. So this channel, that if you're watching this is just the Rhyan San Pedro channel. It's just me vlogging my random thoughts, and I guess for people who want to sort of know me more on the daily. I mean, I'm not gonna be doing daily vlogs, but these are small, like little vlogs, me sharing my journey in building the RHYPLA Builds YouTube channel. So I'll share a little bit. Like now I'm sort of sharing this. I'm going to IKEA to buy a table, but I'm hoping to, I've already had my, I've shot my first RHYPLA Builds YouTube channel, YouTube video. I've kind of storyboarded future content, and yeah, like the content bit is the easy bit. I'm gonna smash through that, no problem. I've got so much that I can do, and I've already got a show format. And yeah, Zaz Grief. That's my character. Zaz Grief, the character, which I'll introduce somehow at the later. Once the channel gets a bit more established, I'll introduce him because I don't think the new viewers would be used to that character that I made. And you know what? Just inject a bit of humor, right? I believe that if you're gonna get into YouTube, you're an entertainment business. And like what I do when I run my RHYPLA Builders World Cup show, I host that thing and I make sure that everybody's entertained. Even down to the after parties, I freaking host that. I go around at each table, make sure it's okay. And sometimes people go to me, "Hey Ryan, why don't you sit down and stop going around and just and eat and drink?" I said, no. But for me, that party is community building. And for me, I'm the host. So I'll be going around taking shots at each part of the table. So, for you guys that know me, that probably have been to one of my parties, they're just like the best fun. And that whole weekend, me running the RHYPLA Builders World Cup show here in Sydney is the best experience of my life. And that's what really makes me want to work harder for the community. So that's the thing, is my shift is I want to go and do more video stuff online, because I can't do workshops anymore. I can't, not like before where how should you say it? Not like before where pre-COVID and we could all get together and I can teach people how to do stuff. That's kind of gone now. So whether that'll happen again is hard to tell. Whether, like, the world is changing, right? And you've got to kind of adapt. And what I want to try and do is be like your online coach, your coach RHYPLA or something like that. But yeah, it's the thing that I'm trying to piece together, and I'm super excited. And it's not easy, guys. It's not. I mean, it's easy. It's easy if you want to put shit out there. It's easy if you don't want to put the effort in making sure that there's some sort of format or some sort of a. I'm treating this like I'm treating this RHYPLA Builds channel as a TV show, and I'm producing it, and I'm the producer, and I want to have segments. I want to have sort of guests. I want to have lifestyle stuff that's not too far away from the hobby. And that hobby is that, when you think about hobby is entertainment, right? So when you're buying like a plastic model kit, you're buying a jigsaw puzzle or whatever else hobby that you do. You could be knitting, for crying out loud, making fishing lures or whatever, but that's a hobby, and you do that because you're entertained, right? And that's why I'm looking at this as the YouTube as the platform that you want to be. So yeah, so I've been busy. I've been securing all my domains. I've been securing all of my how should you say? I've secured all of my come to me, I'm lagging. All my social media handles. So at RHYPLA, that's at Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, everything else. No, I'm not gonna do freaking TikTok. Man, TikTok is just an abomination. But hey, if everybody is there, maybe I'll have to do it and whore myself out to TikTok and doing. But nah, that's what am I 12? But yeah, so I've been doing a lot of social media. You're just tying things up and doing all sort of the back end work in doing all the stuff that's sort of attached to the channel. But yeah, it's brand building, guys, and nowadays I'm just been really thankful that I've got a very good brand, and a lot of people seem to like what I do, and a lot of people follow what I do. Here's a good example, right? So last year we were in Japan. So I was doing stories in my Instagram and Facebook. Instagram and story, Facebook. I did the business trip I had in Japan. I did 300 stories. and a lot of people were starting to follow it. And that was also another kind of like a trigger in my head that, holy shit, Ryan, people actually watch your stuff. I mean, for me, I was just having fun. And that's for me to sort of share with a lot of guys. But we're having a lot of fun. Then that's where the weed detector gag was born. All this just stupid shenanigans that happens, and all the night outs and whatever else. So that's where it all kind of got me thinking, hang on, you really got into YouTube, because I've had a lot of comments then after my Japan trip. I said, hey Ryan, the stories are finished. When are you gonna do that again? Well, I said, no, I only do that when I have my trips. I only do that just for a bit of fun and to sort of share the journey. And I don't think I can, that was it. But some of them were saying, I said, you know what? I wake up in the morning just to watch your stories from the night before, because I feel like I'm actually there with you guys. I said, oh, okay, well, at least it's sort of appreciated. This is really sort of. It was sort of just funny. It was just sort of like a trigger in my head that, hang on, what you do, if people like to watch and people want to, if you want to, I should be sharing a little bit more. And that was kind of like the first sort of not spark, but the idea was always there. The idea was always there, but it's it just needed validation, or it needed some sort of in the drive for me to sort of say, okay, yeah, this is it, it's time to do it. Because if I would have done this maybe like a few years ago, I don't think I'd be able to, the motivation wouldn't be there. It's true, like, yeah, that's why I just thought, well, if I was to do this, I'm hoping that when I launch the other channel, it'll get some decent following, and I'm hoping to be able to entertain, have fun doing it, and then help people out, and just sort of share the knowledge of what I know, and that's what it is, right? I mean, it's not just all gonna be. Of course, I want it to be polished. I want it to be like crisp lighting, good video, awesome sound, good graphics, good whatever else that goes. I want it to look professional, for it to be good enough to be a Netflix. That's the plan. I mean, I think that's what I think is going to be this YouTube channel that I'm launching. RHYPLA Builds, by the way. Don't forget to go there when I'll let you guys know. Nothing's there yet, but I want this to be so polished and so good that it can be shown at Netflix. So I'll upgrade my gear as I go, learn the craft a little bit more. I mean, it's very tempting just to go out there and buy all the cool gear. I mean, the only investment that I've done for doing this is I wanted to buy an action camera a long time ago anyway. So I bought that Osmo Action Cam, and that was a steal. I got that at a really good price at $349. Normally they're about $599 or something. So it rivals the GoPro Hero 8. But one thing I like about this one is that, okay, I needed a vlogging camera, so that, and plus this has got a front-facing screen. I can take this to like my track days on my car. I mean, I occasionally do track days on my MR2. This is my what you guys are sitting on is on my my JDM MR2 Turbo. That's like that's my baby. So yeah, so I bought the cam. I bought a Rode shotgun mic, a little Rode micro, really good. I bought some lighting stands, and that's only about $500 I've sort of invested. That's the first investment that I'm putting into this channel, because I'm treating this as a business. I'm now in the entertainment industry. I'm now producing a show, but everyone's got to start somewhere, and that's one thing I've always said is that I gotta earn the good gear, right? Because I don't think I'll appreciate it as much. I don't want to be Insta Pro, although me buying this may be looked at Insta Pro, but it's all about want and needs, right? What do you need now, and what do you want? So it's always me. I've always done that in all parts of purchasing, is like need versus want. What do I need now? But what do I really want? Can you get by with what you need now so you can get to the want stage? So that's all I'm kind of shooting in, and I'm using my smartphone as well. But gee, I'm looking at some of those mirrorless cams from Sony and these lenses, and I'm starting to learn, and I'm starting to get bitten by the bug about looking at sort of lenses and really nice stuff, but that stuff is expensive. So, and plus I'll probably do shit at it anyway, because I wouldn't know how to use it. So I'm learning that, and I'm kind of looking at talking to guys who know their photography well, guys like RJ, and people, some of my friends that are absolute photography nuts. But my thing is all about video, right? So video production, and that's what I'm saying is that I already know the shots that I want. I already know like the kind of angles that I want, and the stuff that I want to do in my head. I can kind of see it, but yeah, just bit by bit. So yeah, if you're still sort of watching this, thank you very much. You must be a very good friend of mine, because chances are I'll be sharing this on my Facebook. And this is not the proper channel. As I said, this is just me practicing on my own, in my own channel, and I'm treating this as just one shoot, no editing. Get into the and kind of just go ahead and share the journey. You never know, right? I'd love to be able to show this 5 years from now, I'd love to be able to share this, like, sort of 5 years from now, and to sort of see the beginnings of the channel. If it's sort of, I'm confident, and I've got the self-belief that it'll really work. And if I'm really sort of betting on myself. Woohoo! Listen to that boost! Yeah, this is my MR2. Turbo MR2. You guys are gonna get one of these, right? I've had this since year 2000, I believe. And it's a weapon, and I've kind of built this. From the ground up, and also helped for some friends. And it's not really a car that you would sort of consider driving every day. It's more of a weekend car. Because it's built. I built this for the track. I mean, you could look at these. Check out these seats, right? Fixed seats, and you're kind of, when you get in there, you're kind of strapped in. So rough roads, though, not very good. Because when you look at the suspension in this car, when you see the packaging, they got a warning outside the box. It says race use only, not for street use. Well, yeah, that's probably why it is so stiff. But when you take it to the track, wow, it's like being in a video game. And this is also one of my passion, is JDM cars of the 90s and early 2000s. We're talking, MR2s, Supras, NSX, RX-7s, Silvias, you name it. That was kind of the golden year. And even this car being how old it is now, it still holds its own. It still got that really nice shape and the pop-up headlights. And the car is mid-engine at the back. The engine's at the back, turbocharged 2-liter. And that was the sort of time when all the Japanese makers were making their Evos, and if you play Gran Turismo, that's what the essence of JDM's Japanese domestic market cars, which is what this is. And I put a lot of money into this, and that's why I'll never sell it. It's very much a money sink. I haven't done any work on it for years. Like, it only got Japanese parts in it. I'll never cut corners. So most of the HKS catalog is bolted into this. The exhaust is HKS. So all the name brands are in the car, and it makes decent power. And it's just enough for me. I mean, no, it's never enough, but you always want more. But once you start going to that sort of 700 horsepower territory, that's when you kind of, things become not much fun. I mean, as it is now, it's just perfectly balanced for the track. It's quick enough to sort of, quick enough to hold its own on the road. Not that I do that shit on the road anymore. Like, I'm no longer 18. I'm out there drag racing idiots in the road. I just sort of laugh at people when they sort of pull up next to me and say, "Really? I'm gonna waste fuel on you." But it's a quick car, right? It does around 13 point. I saw a Japanese. This is one thing, I've never taken this on a quarter mile, but a stock version of this, when did a motoring review in one of the Japanese mags, they did this the MR2 did a quarter racing cars like the FD, which it beat, Supra, which it beat, and a few other JDM cars. Silvia beat it, that kind of thing. But they were all stock. The only thing that beat this was the NSX Type R, and also the R32 GTR that beat this. So it came third. Those guys were doing like 13.2. I mean, back then, 13-second quarters are fast, right? Now it's kind of, no, it's not. That's kind of probably normal for most stock cars now. That was sort of like supercar performance back in the 90s. So this came third. So it was the quickest was, I believe, the R32. The R32 GTR, followed by the NSX Type R. This one, the MR2, then followed by the normal vanilla NSX, and then the FD, Sylvia, and something else. So yeah, it's a damn quick car because it's light. It's got decent power. Out of the box, it does about 245 horsepower out of the box, factory standard. So I'm doing a lot more than that since I've put a bit of modification to the car, but I've really sort of concentrated a lot more on the handling side of things, so coilovers and whatnot. But yeah, it's still holding its own. It's still a good looking car, you know, that holds its own with the cars of today, right? With the cars of today, it's still looking at, and then the classical pop-up headlights. I mean, that's the true the true appeal of this car is just those damn pop-up headlights. So anyway, I'm here at IKEA. Thanks for listening to me ramble on and being in this little drive. Yeah, just me being on this little drive to pick up a table. And this is just a talking head video. So if you found this on the internet, I'm just some random guy. If you don't know me, my name is Ryan, and this will most likely be my just everyday vlogging channel, Ryan San Pedro. Follow me if you wish. You're one of my friends that want to see what I'm doing. Follow this. But yep, RHYPLA Builds channel coming out soon. It's coming out on the next one. See you guys there. Yeah.